350, exactly what it's supposed to be.
Wow.
Please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to one of the best bands in Bluegrass, Special Consensus.
1, 2, 3. It's long to ride for the little again. It's ryegrass in the wintertime, flowers in the spring, but Texas in the summer's time of suffering. I went up on Jackson Hill at a diner, I sat down and I waved at every stranger just to move the air around. Well, when I met that broken girl, I never thought it through. She had a silk brocade in the bedroom and a drum to bake for two. I think I'll get down the old guitar and see what I can find. Get $1 off some lawyer on the number 7 line. It's long to ride for the little again. Six string on your shoulder, might as well be the devil's friend. Devil says I love you, but for all I struck the right, I traded every brick on Wall Street for one black diamond ring. Hey, back to life for good, if I could only go. There's a little girl that stole my heart, and I think she'd like to know. Yeah, the road goes but one way, the only going time. Just make a little more in the daytime, but not drink down the night. Down and I never found one sing as good as they. And they say that there's a wondrous land of any good man that dies. But if they've got great women, then I'll be surprised. It's long to ride for the little again. It's long to ride for the little again. It's long to ride. That he painted you, and Grandma would laugh as he would drag it on. She was always quick to add her 2 cents into around that kitchen table all night long, telling life stories, a better way to pass the time. Life stories, memories of days gone by. Tell your years, I'll tell you mine. I learned about an
and just see every one of you here, right? It's wonderful. We're back for a while. Yay! And we did manage to put out a new recording in the middle of the pandemic. That was not a good idea, but we kept saying, well, we'll put it off one more month, and we made it all the way to May of 2020, and finally just released it and on the Compass Records label. We're going to do some songs from it, and of course we've got some new faces up here that I know many of you have seen, but not with the Special C Boys. So we're going to have a fun visit with you right now, and our new recording was inspired by the fact that in 2020, that was the 45-year anniversary of the formation of Special Consensus. And so we thought we needed to tell people about Chicago. Because for the first 40 years, or 35 anyway, people would say, you're from Chicago? Well, you can't play bluegrass being from Chicago. You can't do that. So all the songs on the recording were either written by people from Chicago or who lived in Chicago or were about Chicago in some way, shape, or form. And the title cut was written by our great friends Missy Raines and Becky Buller and our producer Allison Brown. And it talks about that back starting in the 20s, all the way up until the 60s, they had a show called the National Barn Dance. People called it the WLS Barn Dance, actually, because it was sponsored by Sears and Roebuck. Any of you hear that, or have you heard that? Yeah, and they had
Sears and Roebuck.
Sears and Roebuck, good. Yeah, and their moniker was the world's largest store, so WLS. And they still have that station up in Chicago now. It's kind of an oldies rock and roll station. But that show brought all the great country stars of the time into Chicago. Gene Autry and Roy Rogers and Patsy Montana. I mean, tons of them. Lou Bell and Scotty and just all sorts of them. And it became so popular they made it a live show down at the 8th Street Theater on Saturday nights, and people would stand out in line, you know, for hours to get into that show. The announcer was George D. Hay, and he stayed there for quite a few years. And when he left, he moved up to Nashville and eventually went to work for WSM, and then became their program director, and said, you know, we need a show like that one down in Chicago. So Saturday night, 6 o'clock, they had a show called the Grand Opera Hour. And he decided and convinced the owners of the station, WSM, to let him try having some country music for that hour. So the first time it came on, he said, well, here we are, folks, and I know you're listening and waiting for the Grand Opera Hour, but we've got a new thing for you. We're going to see how you like it. It's called the Grand Ole Opry. And so there you go. Just wanted you to know that the idea came from the Chicago Barn Dance, the National Barn Dance in Chicago. So there we go. All right.